When you impose leadership and faith and service and excellence on engineering education, what you have then is someone who is very different, much more than just an engineer.
The next 3 days will be nothing short of transformational. We're taking high school seniors and starting them on the road to becoming Marquette engineers. It will be intense, very intense, but well worth it.
We're planting the seed of transformation, seed of change, seed of possibilities, and really redefining who they are. This is the chance for them to do that.
Day 1. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Students are starting to arrive. These are high school students, high school seniors, just graduated. They'll be attending Marquette University to start on the road to becoming an engineer. They're working with their chaperones and mentors. We have 3 activities planned. The first, to allow them to get to know each other. They interview each other, then tell all the other team members about the people they've interviewed. Activity number 2, it's called the helium stick activity. The students have to work together to keep a stick level and bring it down to the floor and place it there. They're obviously having some difficulties. There's some conflicts.
That side, right side, come on guys, I'm letting you drop as much as possible.
They have to resolve these in order to be successful. The third activity, called toxic waste. It's a difficult challenge. Armed with only a bungee cord and several 8-foot lengths of lightweight cord, they must remove a bucket of water, toxic waste, from the interior of a 16-foot diameter space.
You gotta go straight up, dude. If you pull out, it's just gonna...
It requires a lot of planning, a lot of cooperation, if teams are successful. Lunch follows. It's now time to introduce the students to the design process. Michelle Johnson takes them through defining the problem. The importance of understanding the need, the importance in becoming an expert in learning about the problem, solving the right problem. Not asking the customer what they need, but asking them to define the problem. It's 2 o'clock. What is the problem these students will be working on? Father Dan Pekarsky explains it. The problem of accessible, available water in Africa, and solutions that make sense within their culture.
The world really needs you. It needs good engineers, urgently, desperately, in order to meet and solve its many problems. Not least of which is access around the world to safe, clean drinking water, something you and I take so much for granted here in the United States. But without water, there's no life.
The message is loud and clear. It's all about culture. Understanding the needs of the user, understanding the culture of the user in order to solve the right problem. To solve the problem that will be sustainable, usable, make a difference. The problem is water. Water access, water transport, water storage, water in Tanzania.
When we talk about water, we know that once you get water, it's almost everything. So the fact that these kids are getting an opportunity to help those people, I think it's unique.
This is a global village. I mean, we may agree or not agree, we may like or do not like, but that is the situation, and it'll continue to be.
As we see all the problems globally around us, that there's lots of opportunities to use technical skills to help solve those problems. And so that's not always about money or that top echelon of consumers, which is mostly U.S. and European. Majority of the world is outside those areas, and their needs are not being met.
Abu Islam, an engineer at Xerox. From Bangladesh, master's degree from Michigan Tech, PhD from RPI. Gives a very moving talk about the social responsibilities that engineers have to everyone in the world.
3,900 children die every day for lack of pure drinking water. It's amazing. 3 children die every minute. By the time I started talking about 30 child died. Do we think in those terms? Amount of water we have left over here, right now, leftover water. Can you imagine? We can probably save 30 child in the next minute. Water problem in Tanzania. Why do we have to do it? Why that government? We don't like that government. That's not a democratic government. Or we don't agree with their religion, whatever religion they practice. Or their culture is weird. We don't want to do that. All we won't agree. But really, you have to focus on what is the real issue. Can you really tell if I bring you 3 child who are going to die next minute? Can you tell them that we don't agree with our government? That's why we won't help you.
The students are excited, motivated to get back to work. It's 1 o'clock. They have team meetings. They're brainstorming. They're sketching. There's a store downstairs with materials: foam core, tape, plastic, glue guns, paper,